I sit on the front edge of a firm cushion that maintains the curve in my lower back. One forearm is pressed into the hollow of soft tissue beside her trochanter, the other into the top of her shoulder where it is softest. When she breathes, my arms are pushed apart, my chest opens, and my breath is drawn up. When I breathe out, I stay in the emptiness at the bottom of the breath, doing nothing. Each time my arms are pushed apart, I am drawn up out of that emptiness. I drop deeper and deeper into each time. It is the base of our core. I've learned floating others at my heart that it too is a center of our core, and that movement is drawn out of it into our arms when we hold someone in stillness. In some places, after I'm drawn up with the breath, my arm is drawn out into movement, a movement that engages my body. I explore leaning into different places on the way around to the lower back. In each, I am drawn up with the breath. In some, I am drawn out beyond the breath. I clasp the shoulder between my forearms and rock back and roll, engaging my whole body. I reach under her arm and lay it back over my thigh. One forearm leans into the hollow where it started from, while the other leans into the hollow in the chest just before the shoulder. In India, these places are considered gates where the spirit enters. We call them the body gate and the heart gate. Leaning into both gates, movement is drawn out by arms that engages my body even more. We start with our forearms because they can come directly from our core without the kind of involvement the brain has in our hands. But now that our core is engaged, our hands can also come from it. While one arm holds her chest open, one hand is drawn from my core to her heart. Once there, instead of being drawn into movement, I feel drawn into stillness. My hand stays there in that stillness. My other hand is drawn to her face, not to massage it or work points, but just to be there. To acknowledge how her head too is part of the wholeness I have felt holding her core. My hand is drawn to 2 or 3 more places on her head. It arrives in the biggest hollow under the occipital ridge, the mind gate. hand leaves its place at the heart's stillness and pulls her shoulder. I rotate her shoulder, gripping it with both hands. Leaning in with both hands, I press her arm to the core. Lifting under and holding it lying over both hands, I focus on how, as I am drawn up with the breath, her arm becomes lighter. As it becomes weightless, I am drawn into a movement that continues moving up with it beyond the breath, exploring whatever stretches and movement I feel drawn up into. A progression, not a sequence, brought us to this point, which is no longer a progression, but a free exploration. Placing the arm stretched up over her head presents new opportunities, new access. Drawn to open her newly presented side, I cross my arms and push apart shoulder and hip. Her waist invites another kind of holding. I am drawn to other parts of her body. Lifting her arm again, I am drawn up even higher. A rising, an ascension continuing beyond the breath, in which I work her hand with both hands being pulled up.